welcome to a field somewhere near Stockbridge in Hampshire. Now recently I've got the pair of the Adidas SL20 shoes and also the adios 5 shoes. So I've got one of each in my hands here. The one on the left is the adios 5 and the one on the right is the SL20, and on my feet I've got the other way around. I've got the left shoe is the SL20 and the right is the adios 5. Now on the face of it, these shoes are pretty similar. In fact, the SL20 is actually comes in for my size, UK 12.5, at only 268 grams compared to 274 for the adios. And they do look very similar. They've both got some light strike material in them, although the adios 5 has got boost in the heel as well, whereas the SL20 is all light strike. And if you look very closely, the light strike, I think the SL20 is slightly thicker, a bit higher in the higher stack height in the heel and the toe, whereas the adios 5 looks a bit more streamlined. So I want to do a very little quick run just to see how they feel with both one on the SL20 on the left and one the adios 5 on the right. Just walking around, the adios 5 feels a little firmer, which is in a way quite strange because you think the boost would be a softer material. But we'll do a little run and we'll report back as we go. Okay, so I'm back on the road now, just walking along. As I said, I think the adios 5 just feels a bit firmer, maybe because it's slightly less stack height in the adios 5, but you kind of think that they should feel similar. So the fact that a shoe with more cushioning, the SL20, is actually lighter is quite an interesting development. So let's just have a little run along. Okay, we're just starting the run now. So yeah, I definitely say the adios 5 feels a lot more firmer. Not much, but definitely notice it. Okay, just a few hundred yards run, but yeah, I'd definitely say the adios 5 is it feels a bit firmer. I think what I'll do is a segment going through the middle of Stockbridge for about 2.5 minutes. So I try both, doing a reasonable effort in both shoes, and see which one I feel like I prefer. Okay, so I've come to the other end of Stockbridge High Street where there's a segment going on where I think I've got the course record equalled, so I think if I need to try and see if I can eke out another second. So this time around, the first time around, I've got the adios 5 on. I've got a stride foot pod on as well, just to see if we've got some power data as well. It might help to see if there's any differences. I've got a couple of Garmin watches to time the effort. I think I've got my segment on my watch as well. So it's about a 6-minute mile pace, I think, to beat the course record. I think the wind might be slightly against, so this may be just a little test. I haven't really done any fast work since the marathon 2 weeks ago, and a few weeks before that, so should be a fair effort. So let's see how we get on. I'll put the camera down for us actually running so I can actually give this a proper go. Right, see you later. Okay, so the run down in the adios 5, that certainly felt quite firm, like a traditional racing flat. So very hard to think I could actually race a marathon and then compared to the next percent. Well, I did actually race my last marathon before Seville 4 years ago in the adios Boost 1. This is the 5th version of them, so a couple of versions on. But certainly compared to, let's say, the next percent, all of the max cushioning shoes these days, it's very firm, but a very good sort of lightweight racer. So maybe 5k, 10k, especially if his ground was a bit more sort of rough, I think, because a bit more grip on the adios 5 than say the next percent. Right, let's change into the SL20s and give that a go as well. Okay, hello, so we've changed into the SL20s. We're walking back down Stockbridge High Street, so immediately I can feel that it's much softer feeling the SL20s. It's kind of interesting, so the fact that they're actually lighter. So the light strike material must be a lot lighter. I did a 10-mile run yesterday in the SL20s, sort of 7:19 compared to my 6:50 odd pace in the marathon. So it's quite a hilly circuit, so it wasn't really a hard one, but I was certainly able to pick up the pace quite nicely. And it reminded me very much of the Bostons from former times where they could actually fit into them. They seem to have sorted out the sizing. I could perhaps do with a bit more room in these SL20s. The adios 5 seemed fine on the fit. Slightly, very slightly fractionally feel like it's just a bit tighter in the SL20 up front, but there is enough room. I've done the shoelaces up a bit more today, so I've got very narrow feet, so I do tend to need to give a few runs in shoes before I can get a good feel for them. So we'll run out the rest of Stockbridge High Sheep, and then we come back that way past the 3 Cups, where we're going to have lunch later, and see if I can do a similar effort on this one. Okay, see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, segment done in the SL20s. I think pretty much the same time. It might be a second quicker, maybe about 2:05. Just over a 2-minute effort. I kind of felt like I was, definitely feel like it was a lot softer in those shoes, and although I probably ended up running the same time, if not slightly quicker, it just didn't feel quite as racy as the Adios 5. So interesting the fact that they're actually slightly lighter. Not necessarily means they're slightly racier, but I mean, it certainly was going a good pace there. I mean, that must have been 1 under 6 minute pace with a slight headwind. I feel a bit out of breath because I'm not used to these efforts. I think I need to get back into 5k 10k training. But so yeah, an interesting one. So verdict on the SL20 now, after probably, how much have I done, about 20 miles in them now. It's like, yeah, I quite like them. Very much remind me of the Boston, actually, which is, they are pretty much that Boston with just light strike instead of boost. I think really that's the only difference. They seem to have sorted out the sizing between the Boston 6 and 7. I didn't actually end up getting the Boston 8 because I always thought that was a bit of a waste of money, because I thought it would be too short for me. But what would I use this SL20's Adios for? So I think based on that test, the SL20 would fit in a category a bit like the Turbo 2, where if you just had to take one pair of shoes for you and you wanted to do a sort of a, you know, sort of a long run, perhaps a bit pacier, do maybe some light intervals, and if you wanted to go really quickly, perhaps it wouldn't be ideal, but they'd probably do a turn. Adios 5, I need to do a long run in them, but it certainly just felt so much firmer, felt a bit more racy because of that. So you think, well, they are really designed as a racing shoe, so but whether they really categorise as a marathon shoe anymore, because this kind of like feel like they've been left behind now by all these maximum cushionless carbon fibre plate shoes. So really, unless you're on a massively tight budget, or you just really liked the more minimalist feel of the Adios, and I can't see that really there's a really what is the market for them anymore. It's interesting to see how the Adios Pro comes out, whether that will be more focused as their marathon racing shoe, and the Adios maybe that will just die a death eventually. I don't know. Interesting to see how that pans out in the next few months. But yeah, certainly in terms of value for money shoes, I mean, I got the SL20 with a 20% discount for £80. Goes against £100 retail, so even a maximum retail, that's way cheaper than some of the Nikes of late, isn't it? And the Adios 5, I think, were kind of similar. I think they're a bit more. I think I got that down to about 100 with the voucher. So you feel like paying £100 for shoes is a bit more realistic these days. Whether you're getting quite the performance from that remains to be seen. Because I did feel like to my run yesterday, that 10-mile run on the road, that legs were a bit beat up. Maybe just because I haven't been running much the last couple of weeks post-marathon, but I think if I was pounding out 60-70 miles a week in just them, I wasn't taking myself off-road, then I'd probably need to consider some other sort of more cushioned shoes for everyday training. But I'll do a little run now on the SL20s, just sort of like a recovery, and see how we go. Hello, so I finished my little warm down run. I got absolutely soaked. It's now quite sunny, would you believe? So I've got a nice backdrop here of the rivers near Stockbridge, a couple of swans I can see in the background there. So just a little update on this SL20. Sort of what I noticed yesterday in my long run, sort of a bit of hill sort of discomfort towards the end, and I kind of noticed that a bit today. So I think the SL20, although they're softer, as I said, than the Adios 5, certainly noticed a lot less cushioned in terms of maximum cushion compared to, they say, the Zoom X foam in the Turbo 2 or the Next Percent or any of the sort of more maximalist cushion shoes. But certainly feel like a nice lightweight shoe that maybe you don't want to do all your training in, although I think you could do it as an everyday trainer. For me, the sizing, perhaps it's not quite ideal, though. Unfortunately, I'm the maximum UK 12.5 size that they do, and I could probably do with just half a size extra, but of course they don't go any higher, and Adidas never do a 13 in a running shoe. Although bizarrely they do in some of the retro shoes, so I'm not quite sure how they work that out. But do they think that people who just walk around have big feet and those that run that don't? Anyway, I'm sure it's all a case of they make shoes that they think they can sell, but Nike and New Balance, Hoka, I think they all go up to 13, 14 these days. So why is it Adidas think everyone's got small feet? Which is a bit of a bugbear of mine. But anyway, I'm sure maybe apart from Andy, the FOD runner, there's not many other people who've got such big feet as us. But it does rather annoy you that your shoes are rather restricted. But anyway, these are okay. But just to say, feel like I could do just a bit of extra room at the front, and I'm slightly concerned about the fact that the heel is slightly sore, so maybe not the ideal run for a slow recovery run, although that run turned out to more like about 7:30 pace, just pootling along, getting soaked in a rather squally shower. But it's actually quite nice now. I feel quite warm just sitting here in my shorts and soggy running top. But anyway, so I'm gonna have lunch now. Thanks for coming along, and certainly worth checking out the SL20 and Adios 5. It won't be the best shoe you've ever had, I don't think, but certainly one worth considering. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.